Yo, what's up guys, it's Levi here and welcome to a new video on the Team Gullit channel, where it's time for a new formation video. I will show you the tactics, I will show you some gameplay examples as you're used to. It's gonna be about the OG 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. I think narrow seems to be a bit back, at least better than before. So as you can see, formation 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. Build-up style is unbalanced, defensive approach as usually is on high, where the defensive line depth is on 70. I think this year defensive approach on high is really important, but especially in this formation. Then for the player roles, my goalkeeper on goalkeeper and defend. Both of my fullbacks are on fullback and balanced. I trigger them a lot in game. That's something that's really important. You will see it in some of the examples. Both of my center backs are on defender and defend. My CDM is on deep lying playmaker and defend. Here you want a player that's good when it comes to build up and is also good in defending. Right center mid I have on box to box, left center mid I have on playmaker. You can turn it around if you want. I just recommend to have your more offensive one on playmaker and the more balanced one on box to box. Then my central attacking midfielder is on playmaker and both of my strikers are on advanced forward. The code will be here right now, so if after the video you think this formation is something for you, maybe run it back, copy the code and go and try them. Let's move on to the examples. We're starting with the attack. The attack in this formation is unbelievable. I've played it in draft. In these first examples I have clips from my draft where I also had Maradona, Ham and Ronaldinho up top, and my opponent couldn't do anything against it. As you can see, the play from left, right center mid to my strikers, to my camp, it's so quick. It looks like prime Barca, even though here I missed the chance with Maradona. But as you can see, building up in this attack, how quick everything goes. If I pass it, you have Stanway who's at the halfway line. For the rest you have Valverde, Ronaldinho, Bonmati, Maradona and Ham all surrounding each other, which makes it so hard for my opponent to defend. The next example shows how great it is in counter-attacking, because here I win the ball back with Nuno, one pass forward, and as you can see it opens up his entire defense. Here I am 3v2 out of nowhere with Maradona, Ronaldinho, then it's just an easy pass across goal and an easy tap in for Mia Ham. That's the transition you have in this formation. The counter-attacking play is insane. Next example, exactly the same. We go with the 5 up front, as it feels like you have 5 attackers, but once you lose the ball, there's still enough people back to not get counter-attacked straight away. This next example I'm gonna show you is something you have to watch closely, because obviously you don't really have width in this formation, you don't have wingers, so sometimes you have to use one of your strikers. You play at the right side, you want your right striker to get wide, and the other way around. When you play on the left side, you sometimes want your left striker to get wide. In this example, you will see Mia Ham, who's my right striker, gets wide, and this way it makes it easier for me to play from the outside to the inside. Mia Ham is on the right, I use her as a right winger, but she is my striker. And then you see my opponent has to come over to my right side and his left. So in this case, he is committing with his left center back, which is Pacho. If you watch closely, you see his entire defense is opening up. He committed to Ham. This gives me a lot of space in between his center backs. His right center back and left center back are so far away from each other, and I have Ronaldinho and Maradona to play in between the lines. Then he has to commit again with Pacho to the middle, he commits again to the wing. Here he doesn't know what to do with Pacho anymore, so he makes a slide tackle, which results in a penalty kick. This next example is one where I try to use the width with my fullbacks. It might be a bit hard because your fullbacks are the only people on the wing, so it can be a bit risky, but as you see here, I managed to trigger Nuno Mendes early in build-up. Here he gets the ball and he creates the width, which means in this case, his right back has to follow Nuno Mendes, and if you watch in the middle, I have Bonmati, Frankie, Totti, Reinders and Mbappe against his CDM, right centre back, left centre back and left backs. We all know how hard it is to defend a 6v4, and that's what this example shows. One pass from Mia Ham to Bonmati, inside to Totti, he doesn't know where to switch anymore, and it's an easy goal. Another specific example of why this formation is so good. Most of the time people play with 2 center mids, 2 CDMs, whatever. So you're always gonna be 3v2 there, and that's what you're gonna see in this example. I have Bonmati, Frankie and Reinders who are basically in one line, and my opponent cannot defend it, as I can go back to my CDM all the time. He is free in space. Here he tries to step out with Frankie to Bonmati. I just play it back to Frankie, and that's the moment I realize I can go forward. So I go forward, I have the ball with Totti. Both of my strikers are almost in between his fullback and a center back, and Totti is in the middle. So at some point I know I'm gonna get both of my strikers in between, and then it's basically a 3v2 situation. From Totti to Ham, from Ham in the end to Mbappe, and another goal that looks really easy but is just made by this formation. Then we move on to the less fun part, which obviously is defending. Defending the wing can be hard in this formation. That's one of the weaknesses. You can see in some of these clips, my opponent gets a lot of space and time on the wing. Only thing I can recommend is to try and defend with your strikers. Drag your strikers to the wing, try to defend with them as a winger. Sometimes he will just have space down the wing, but you have to accept it because the strengths of this formation defensively are in the middle. All the time there's a midfielder supporting you in defense, and that's what you'll see in these clips. Exactly that's what you see in this case. He breaks through with Salah. You think there's a lot of space. In the end he makes the move with Mbappe, but Reinders is just in time there to block the shot. Obviously you have 4 midfielders. Obviously the cam is not defending as much, but if you need him you can drag him back. But your center mids are always defending. Same goes for your CDM. Next example you see, again, breaks through on the wing. Okay, we've got to accept it, and we know we have enough players in the middle to still stop this attack. Aitana Bonmati is there in place and in the right time to still prevent my opponent from scoring. And the last example I'm going to show has to be a warning for if you play against 4-1-2-1-2 as well. You have to use your fullbacks, because if you try to go forward straight away through the middle, this is what happens. I intercept the ball in midfield because my opponent doesn't go to his fullbacks. He tries to play it straight away forward. I intercept it. It's 2 passes forward and I'm in a dangerous position, and in this case I score. That being said, I've told you everything you need to know about the 4-1-2-1-2 Narrow in FC 26. I want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure to put your thumbs up on this video. Leave a comment down below if you would like to. We really appreciate if you would subscribe on our channel. Once again, I want to thank you guys for watching and see you next time. Ciao.